David here again. Just one more video, video 4 in a series of 3. How's that for silly, Annie? Anyway, I had a request for a little bit more on how to get your Azure account set up with a WordPress, which is not my area. I don't really use WordPress, but I know a lot of students are interested in doing so. So again, here I've just come to the portal for Azure, and I'll just log in. Once more, I'm going to be a little apologetic. When I set up this demo, I used the same Niagara College student email address to create the actual Windows Live ID or Windows account. And so I've rectified that a little bit by adding an alias to that account with at outlook.com. So demo student. So just to emphasize, when you log into Azure, you are using your Windows account, even if it looks the same as your student account. Okay, we really just need the student account to guarantee, or I should say validate, that you are actually a student. All right, so I'll just log in here and just put in the password and away it goes. Okay, so now we're into our dashboard in the portal once again. So I still have that app that we created the other day up and running. I haven't really touched it or done anything with it, but we can carry on and create another new app. This time we'll use WordPress. Now there's a number of ways to get to WordPress. I showed you the other day how you can browse the marketplace. But if you know exactly what you're after, sometimes it's faster just to use the search. And there we go. So I'll just select WordPress there. And there we go. There's a few different variations. Really just going with a generic WordPress works just fine. And here we are, a little blurb about WordPress, how it started, how wonderful it is, etc. Very good. So I'll just click Create. Now, obviously, there's a few settings required. As usual, we have to give an app name. Notice that once again, this is technically a subdomain of azurewebsites.net. So I'll just maybe go with my usual demo student WP for WordPress, I guess. Uh, I must have used that one already. Okay, so that one's okay. DreamSpark account. I think I can use my existing resource group. Can't think of a reason why I shouldn't be allowed to. And I see that automatically already selected my app service plan, the one that I created the other day. I can use it here as well. You might do a separate one if you plan on later on managing things in a very disconnected way between the different kinds of projects. But for my purposes, that works just fine. Now for the database, you actually have to do some configuration here. So I'll click the little arrow. We have to give the database a name. And it's a shared, we can't change that. Location, I don't want to be in Brazil. Eastern US is probably good. And we don't really change this pricing tier either. I think that there's actually going to be a bit of a warning about that, it is free, but it's billed separately at $0. So you're okay. Legal terms, we'll have to accept those. And there we go. Oh, there we go. There's that warning I was talking about. So, a little note here that the highlighted marketplace purchases are not covered by your Azure credits. So, you have so many credits available because of your free educational Azure account through DreamSpark. But the $0 per month you're paying separately. Good thing, eh? All right, we'll just purchase that. Thank you very much. Normally, you would actually have to supply a credit card, even though there's no charge, but that's something that they've set up under the DreamSpark account, that no credit card is required. And there's optional settings, but we don't need to worry about that. I'll pin it to the dashboard, and we'll click Create. So there we are, submitting deployment. Now this can take anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes, maybe even a little longer. Oh my goodness, that disappeared quickly, but you still see it's working here. Anyway, I'll just take this moment to mention I'm going to put a link to a tutorial here on actually getting um, this type of application, a WordPress application up and running in Azure. Actually, it's a tutorial I followed to to create this video. So I'll put that up along with the video in YouTube, so you'll have access to this tutorial. But please note as well that there's numerous other tutorials, video and otherwise, on the Azure website of how to get up and get started with different types of uh, web applications, whether it's Python, Node.js, or whatever. So there's lots and lots of resources available for us there. I'm just going to pause till we're finished deploying our WordPress. Okay, it's finished cooking up on Azure, so we have our WordPress site ready to go. So we actually have the URL and so on. There's various settings and things, but really at this point it's up there. So really just I can click here, browse. So you notice you can right click, browse, and just open the site. And we aren't quite done though, but we're done in the Azure part. So with WordPress itself, of course, there's the whole configuration of WordPress. But the truth is, I'm not going to spend long on this because I'll just continue here with English. This is standard WordPress. This is no longer has anything to do really with the fact that we're hosting it on Azure. So whether this was a WordPress site you put up for a blog on some other server somewhere, this portion would be identical. The famous 5-minute WordPress installation process. So I'm not going to bother with that. You can do that on your own because that's just WordPress, nothing to do with Azure. Okay, and I'll just point out here that, yep, sure enough, I did add it to my um, dashboard as well. So we're all set and ready. We've got a couple different sites up and going. Congratulations. So follow the link for the tutorial and away you go.